Guys, I'm back with another video. So today's video is going to be all about Queen Chioma. So who is Queen Chioma? If you're new here, if you're returning, if you need an update on me, this is going to be all about Queen Chioma. As you guys can see, my hair is different. I'm rocking some color that I did myself. You guys know I make my own wigs by Queen Chioma. So I'm going to play the snippet of how I got my hair to look like this, how I styled it, how it ended up popping. I will have the links in the description box below to She's Hair, which is sponsoring this hair in this video, and I will come back at the end of that. So hey guys, I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this look. So I started off with the hair from She's Hair, and it came in this bag. They sent me 4 bundles of the Brazilian loose deep texture in 24 inches and a free part closure. So it looks very nice. This is a texture that I'm not really familiar with, but it actually ended up very nice. So the closure was a free part because it allows me to part the hair any which way that I like. So the utensils that you're going to need are a spandex dome wig cap, which is what I always use to make all of my wigs, and then a mannequin head of some sort to use as a guideline for your own head. So then I have some needle and thread because I like to sew my wigs. So taking your needle and thread as well as your hair, you're just going to go around the perimeter of the wig and you're just going to sew. I don't have any particular strategy in sewing, but I will say I always do start at the side and not the very back, just because it allows for more volume when I'm sewing the hair and the overall look. So as you can see here, I actually start right here on the side and I just go around and I kind of just go back and forth doing the flip over method until I get the final look of the hair. So I just detangled the hair and brushed it ever so slightly so that I can proceed to color. So the first thing I'm going to do is shape the hair. So since it's a side part, I decided to go ahead and create a side bang so that the hair falls nicely on your face. So the first thing you need for coloring is some 30 volume developer, a mixing bowl to stir up your bleaching powder and your developer, and the Toledo colors in blue so that your hair doesn't turn out brassy, especially because we're going for a blonde color, as well as the actual bleaching powder itself. So the first step is to just take a scoop of your bleaching powder out, and since we're going to be bleaching a lot, make sure you take a good amount, as well as an equal share of the Toledo colors in blue, and then put in some developer. So you just want to stir it until it becomes a texture that is kind of like a paste, nothing too runny. Don't make it too thick either so that it's easy to work with. So you're also going to need some aluminum foil because we want to section off each side of the hair that's being colored so that it doesn't get onto the other side that's not being colored. So in order to complete this look, you just want to part a little bit of the front perimeter of the hair on both sides of the part. So in this clip, I actually made the sections a little bit too small, but eventually I went back and made them a lot larger so that I can have a lot more color deposit on the hair. So it's pretty simple. I use the foil as a guideline to go ahead and apply the bleaching concoction onto the hair and I wrap it up. So the main step to get it to fall the way that it does is to alternate each time that you section off the hair. So this section is not going to get colored, but the next part that I cut out with my comb is going to get colored. So that's pretty much how I did it on both sides of the part, and I just went back and forth until I reached the bottom of the hair. So you can actually do this all around the head, but I just chose to do it at the front because I wanted to see the blondes and just the color in front and not at the back. So when you unravel your foil wraps, you're going to see that the hair has lightened and it's now time to wash it out. So I just used the Aussie shampoo, and I also encourage you to use a neutralizing shampoo when working with any type of chemical or color. And I'm just going to be washing that out thoroughly until the hair is completely rid of any type of bleach. So this is what the hair looked like when I was done, and I brushed it out again. As you can see, the color is there, and I must say it did take the color very well. So I actually went ahead and parted it and tweezed it off camera, creating the part in my closure, and then I moved on to styling. So I actually wanted some loose waves, but I did do some very, I guess you can say, defined curls all around the head, and then I let the hair sit for like a day or two so that the curls will fall. So this is what it looked like as I was going. It was tedious, but you didn't really have to do all this. I'm just over perfectionist when it comes to the hair. So this is just what it looked like when I was doing it all over the head. So when I was done, this is what it looked like. So as you guys can see, I wanted to get that side part look. So you see that the layers are cut even when you curl the hair. And I don't recommend combing the hair out with a brush. I recommend always finger combing. I used some Got To Be Glued free spray just to hold the curls a little bit better, even though I knew they were going to fall, but I didn't want them to fall right away or completely, so I just put a little bit. A little bit goes a long way because this is a very sticky product. So here's the side of the hair. You guys can see the color and how it looks when it's curled. So I'm just using my hands to finger comb some of the curls out. That way you don't get that very rakey or abrupt look in the hair. It doesn't look too unruly. So finger combing just allows for the hair to just fall better and doesn't make the hair look wild. So when I was done, this is what the hair looked like. I let the curls drop for about a day or two. Just let it sit there on my mannequin head. And this is what it looks like. And I'm feeling it. Are y'all feeling it? Because I'm feeling it. It looks popping. So be sure to look at the description box down below for the link to this hair, and let's get right into the next part of the video. So I am back. I hope you guys enjoyed that little tutorial on how I got this look. I know this hair is popping. I have no complaints so far. I colored the hair, bleached the hair, and got pretty blonde on the first try. I only did one try, and as you guys can see, it looks cute. So let's move on to this point of this video. So I wanted to do a video titled, Who is Queen Chioma? Just in case, you know, you don't know me, or some people may think you know me, but you have no idea. To start off, my name is Chioma, okay? As a lot of people always want to talk about how I say my name. I know how to say my name, okay? Ahamwo Chioma. Ahamwo Chioma, okay? Y'all got it? Okay, don't try me. I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's where I was born and grew up, by way of Nigeria, Imo State, Nigeria, down to Owerri, Nigeria, down to Urata, Nigeria, down to Okwu, Urata, Nigeria. Yes, I know what village I'm from. So sometimes I have to be like really petty just because people just swear I'm so like uncultured, but it's like, why would you think that? Why would you think that? I am 21 years old. I was born on July 17th, 1997. So yes, I am a late 90s baby, but you know, I still got it in there. Growing up, I was raised by two Nigerian parents, so a strict household. I've always been saturated with values and culture and tradition as I grew up, so it really shaped the person that I am. So early years, as a toddler, as a baby, I honestly was just probably a wild child. I know my mom and my older sibling and like my older cousins always tell me like Chioma was just very wild, and I believe it because I'm even wild now. I mean, well, I'm not wild, but I know my personality is very aggressive, and they just didn't know what to do with me. So moving into like middle school, when I actually came out of Philadelphia area for real, I went to a predominantly white middle school. I've went to predominantly white school almost my entire life. Well, actually all of my life, because when I was in Philly, I went to a Catholic school. So when I got into middle school, I really just didn't really know what to do with myself. Had this big growth spurt. I was taller than everybody, and I'm black and I'm a girl, so everyone picked on me, saying that like I'm kind of boyish, tomboyish, so I was like a tomboy. So I had two older brothers at the time and a lot of older male cousins, and I was just like a tomboy. So my favorite color was blue. Not saying that's a boy color, but that was my favorite color, blue, compared to what it is now. And I always was hanging around the guys. I was very rough, like I was very aggressive, very argumentative. Like that was my personality. I didn't really do any tomboy sports for real. I still liked cheerleading and gymnastics. I did that in early middle school, and when it came to school, everyone always knew me as like the really funny person. I was definitely the class clown. A lot of the white girls always liked me, but a lot of them didn't like me either because they thought I was ghetto and ratchet or whatever. And I always like pushed my Nigerian culture. Like I was way more Nigerian when I was growing up than I am now, I guess you can say. But I definitely was proud of my culture, still am, always will be, and very much enforced it growing up with my peers. So moving on into like high school, the first day of high school, I remember it so vividly. I didn't know what to expect. It was a big school, a new school. I was still in a predominantly white school, and I still had my black friends, but there wasn't a lot of us. And all of the people that was black at my school was from Baltimore, Maryland. Now, not to rig on nobody's city, but Baltimore, Maryland is very, very rough. Like the people that's from Baltimore more, they are really about it. Like, they're really about it. So it clashed bad with me. Not because I was from Philly, but just because I wasn't from Baltimore. You know, I could have been from anywhere, it still wouldn't have worked. And it clashed bad with me. So going into 9th grade, literally like maybe a month in, I started getting bullied, like really, really, really bad. I got bullied and I started to act up going like 8th into 9th grade. So middle school, I was so popular. I was a cheerleader. Everybody kind of liked me. You know what I'm saying? I never really had any issues. I had behavioral issues. Like, I had detention like 40 times in middle school. I know for a fact. We went into high school, things just went downhill. I've lost myself. I didn't know who I was. I was trying to find myself, and I was trying to be a part of the crowd, but they did not accept me. It's one thing to be a part of the crowd and not be yourself, but people still accept you and like you're just faking. But I tried to be a part of the crowd, and them kids from Baltimore did not F with me at all. They did not like me. I was not a part of their group. They talked about my hair. They talked about my clothes. They talked about my shoes. They talked about everything. And it really affected the person who I was and became today. So moving on to like 10th grade, I started getting girly. Okay, so I didn't wear makeup. I didn't do weave. I didn't do none of that until I was like 15, 16, and 10th grade. I was like, okay, let me experiment. So I started doing like, you know, watching YouTube since like middle school, but in early high school, I took it serious. So I watched YouTube. I would figure out how to do my hair, natural hair included, but really weaves, because back then I just wasn't in agreement with my natural hair or just having the you know, the Afrocentric power and appreciation. That was definitely not me. I did not know, care, or want to know anything about it, which was sad being African at that, but it's just how things were for me. Then there I started doing makeup. I started trying to do wing eyeliner, filling my eyebrows, and I'll insert some pictures for what I looked like in 10th grade. You're gonna say, you know, Chioma looked cute, but it was still like those are like on my best days, some of these pictures. So I tried to really like get, at this point, become girly, because I realized if you weren't like a girly girl, or if you just weren't somebody who was known and seen and wore nice clothes, guys weren't going to like you. And going into high school, you know, you want guys to like you as a girl. Like, that's kind of one of your priorities, whether you want to admit it or not. Trust me, I know, because I get a lot of emails of girls saying the same exact thing. So as I moved forward with that, I still got bullied. I got bullied really bad 10th grade year. That's when everything was like horrible. To the point where I got a lot of altercations. At one point, I really tried to fight my bully. Like, I really was gonna fight. One thing about me, I've never been scared. Like, I've never been nervous or scared. Like, I've always been really willing to be about the with the ish. Okay. So I remember one incident. Like, I really was going to fight the girl. Ended up getting in trouble for that, and it kind of made the bullies not mess with me as much anymore. They didn't really pick on me anymore, but they still said things about me. But I kind of became more confident because I was finding myself. So the whole tomboy phase definitely transitioned when I was like 15 in 10th grade, 16, that area, and I became really girly. So my room is pink. I like pink. Everything is pink, girly, 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 girly. And it still is to this day. And then moving into like 11th grade, towards end of high school, there was still bullying, but at this point, like, it didn't hurt me. I didn't really get that riled up about it, even though it still hurt me deep down inside that people didn't want to be my friend. I still have my close friends. Shout out to all my girls. Team Cheeks. Team Cheeks was something we created in high school, and I don't remember what Cheeks stand for, but I will figure it out, because I still have my Team Cheeks card that I made in 2014. We all had membership cards that I had to make in a class. We had to make like business cards, so I decided to make everybody Team Cheeks cards. And yeah, I still have mine. I'll insert a picture, but those were like my friends. So Kimberly, Dominique, Rayvon, Amari, like, those were like my close friends, you know, that I grew up with from like middle school into high school, and even now we still have a Team Cheeks group chat. And that was like my rider, that was like my crew. But you know, it was weird because everybody liked them, but nobody ever liked me. Like, I don't know if they were threatened by me, if they thought I was this, I don't know what it was, but nobody ever liked me. So moving into 11th grade, things went really well in 11th grade. Academic wise, like, I got A's. I mean, I was distinguished honor roll, had a privileged pass at my school. I was doing well. Senior year of high school, you couldn't tell me anything senior year. I was on top of it. I was on the varsity cheerleading. I was on the step team. I was a step team captain.
6, 7, 8. Image. We break it down like.
first human hair weave in 12th grade, yes. So it baffles me now when I see girls be like in middle school with long 30-inch hair that their mom buys for them because, you know, they ain't had no job. I'm like, that was never me. You guys are lucky because that was never me. But I remember I bought my first human hair, and at this point is when I decided to take YouTube serious. So December 2014, which was midway through senior year, I decided to take YouTube serious. Well, actually not serious, but that's when I started the channel. So I was doing hair reviews because that was what was really popping at the time. If you were black and you were into beauty, that's what you did. And I knew, like, okay, I want to do something with college when I get to college. So moving on, months later, I graduated high school in June 2015, class of 2015, from, I don't think I need to say the name of my high school, but if you figure it out, you figure it out. And I graduated with honors. I graduated with 3.2 GPA, and I decided to go to University of Toledo because I had two choices, basically, University of Toledo or University of Dayton, because I knew it had to be in Ohio because I knew my family was moving to Ohio. I found University of Toledo on a Google search. I looked at it. I clicked it. I was like, okay. Searched it up on YouTube. I saw this crazy party video.
Oh yeah, shout out to High Class, shout out to Molly Field, that's my partner now.
Just woke up and it's going. Just went to sleep, still going. 3:45, got it going. I ain't even know, but it's going. 3:45, got it going. Got it going.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is the school I'm going to, because my high school is predominantly white, so it was really no black culture. The parties were not lit. Homecoming and all that. I never went to prom. I went to homecoming once, 9th grade year, and never went again. So like, I really wanted a big change. I wanted to be within root with like black people, African people. So I really wanted to go to an HBCU. Desperately wanted to go to Howard. Begged my dad to let me go to Howard. That was a no. A lot of you guys know African parents don't really do the whole HBCU thing. Most of the time, you really have to be very convincing. But so I chose University of Toledo because Dayton was just looked dry, okay? And my brother went there, and we would have been in the same school for a whole semester, and I was like, no, not going. So I went to University of Toledo. So over that summer, I was hyped. I turned 18, and then I got to University of Toledo on August the 19th of 2015, I believe it was, and I had moved in with 5 other girls. So it was a new experience for me because I never really had to share anything growing up other than with my younger sister, but we're really close in age, and I always had like my own room and my own stuff. Of course, me and my sister would fight about stuff, but I mean, sisters fight. And it was just so different for me, you guys. The first like day, I was like, okay, I can do this. It's gonna be a fantasy story. We're all gonna get along. No. That was definitely not it. I had a roommate, and it was cool for the most part, but I realized that the way how I was brought up was not the same way everybody else was brought up in terms of the priorities. So academics is a big thing, especially as a Nigerian, and that was something that I really was there for. I still wanted all the social things, but unfortunately, because I was so restricted growing up from my parents and just the type of high school environment that I was in, when I came to Toledo, it was like heaven because it was black people. It's like it's not a black school, but it's a very good mix. It was black people. It was dope parties. It was niggas for real. Like, it was all the things I saw on like YouTube and the movies, and I was like finally experiencing it. So my first semester was just horrible. Academic wise, social wise, everything that could happen bad went bad. I am decent with some of my roommates from freshman year, but for the most part, I'm genuinely not cool with 2 of them. Like, well, I'm not even gonna say I'm not cool with one of my roommates from freshman year, but it just ended bad. A lot of people gave me flack for it when I don't think I ever once got on YouTube and explained my side of the story, and I told myself I never would because I know I wasn't in the wrong. But there was like a whole incident about me jumping a roommate. I never jumped my roommate. I never even allowed her to get jumped. I never made an effort during when she was fighting, but I never allowed her to get jumped. I never said, oh, go jump her. To be quite honest, it was so much going on that night and that incident during that fight that I honestly didn't realize that she was fighting, and I thought the girl that she was fighting, she actually had beef with, because I didn't know that girl either, but she didn't know that I didn't know, and it just turned into a whole thing. But she's moved on. Hopefully one day we could just be grown women and move past it. But one of my other roommates I'm just not cool with at all. And then in terms of academics, freshman year I declared pharmacy as a major, and that was because I thought that's what my Nigerian side wanted me to do, not because I genuinely wanted to do that. And I knew I was not the best at science. I know I could do it, but I wasn't passionate about it, and it wasn't something that I really wanted to do. And that was the biggest mistake I've made going into college, which I always tell everybody, figure out what exactly you want your major to be. As soon as you feel as if this is not the major for you, you get out, because it's going to get worse. So I had a very bad advisor who told me about grade deletion, which at my school is where you could take a class and if you do bad, you could delete the grade. And that's how she left it. She didn't tell me that I had to take the class again and get a better grade to delete that bad grade. So I stopped going to class like 3/4 through freshman year. I just didn't go to class anymore, and I was like, okay, well, it's just all gonna delete and I can start fresh next semester. Wrong. So I ended up failing my entire first semester. I mean, F. To the point where second semester, once I realized what was going on and how I had to finesse it, I want to say I got like a 3.0 that semester, or very close to a 3.0 that semester. And that was when I realized, I changed my whole course load around, and it still wasn't good because cumulative wise, I didn't have good grades. To me now, I still don't have good grades or good GPA. I have good grades, cumulative GPA. So it's something I'm still paying the price for. And it's always been very embarrassing. I don't like to talk about it, but I just decided you have to be honest, because there's people that look up to me and probably are in the same place that have made the same mistakes. You see a lot of people get on here with their 3-point this or their academic this, and it hurts you inside because you feel like, damn, I know I could be that. I have the intellectual capability to be that, but it was just some unforeseen circumstances that led you to not being where you want to be, but that doesn't mean that you can't get there. So I'm working at that. Moving on, I changed my major 3 times while I've been in college. I went from pharmacy to business. Realized business is not even what I really want to do. I like it, but it's not really what I want to do. Being in front of the camera, communication, social media, talking, that's my passion. That's what I'm good at. That's what I naturally have a calling for. So I'm now a mass communications major here at the University of Toledo. And because of grades and changing, I'm now graduating a year later, which is May 2020, but I'm not really mad about it. So my camera actually cut off, but basically I just want to say, this is my journey. This is where I'm at now. This is who I am. I can say I'm a very passionate person. I'm a very talkative individual. I'm someone who really wants to give back to the community that I came from, whether that be my cultural side of Nigerians or just African American females in general. I don't let any mistakes define who I am. I've made a ton of mistakes all through high school and college when it came to boys, when it came to grades, when it came to friendships, and I'm only human. I'm not perfect, and that's something that I always like to say that to people, because I know you look at people on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and you think, wow, their life is this and that and the third, they have it all together, but a lot of us really don't. And that's part of who I am, is to show you an authentic side to somebody, who I don't have to get up here all the time and pretend like everything is also perfect and my life is great and I'm so blessed, which I am, but there's also downfalls to my life too. There's also things that I've gone through or still am going through in which you guys can relate to me as well. So if you have any other questions about me, about who Queen Chioma is, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. I'm giving away my little prize bag that I've been giving away, and it has lashes, it has a nail file, has some face mask, it has a whole bunch of things, and I just wanted to give you guys that as a token. So in order to enter, just leave your email address as well as one more question that you have for me about my life, and I'll go ahead and answer some of that down below. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out She's hair in the description box down below. Really inexpensive hair, and it definitely colors if you're looking for a style like this, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
Stop acting gangster on the ground. My street credit authentic, cap locks, you're a spam. Paper. Full of lean in a scope with ruffles in my hand. 2 rings, 80 bands, dripping Gucci, Dapper Dan. Got me fly like a kite, like a kite, like a kite, like a kite, like a kite. Took off out of sight. I can see the light. White house look just like heaven. Garage in my master bedroom. And the rave got Delta leg room.